Hey guys, I want to put my emphasis or my perspectives on this Nolan Wells situation because I hadn't been able to speak on this because it's been just like I've been putting it on my community posts, but YouTube been messing with my channel for some years now. That's why my channel has never grown and it's not gonna grow because of my perspective and truth that I put out there. They don't like awaken Israelites to speak on nothing. They shut us down. But if y'all look at my community posts, they have not been showing y'all anything because either y'all don't care or I'm understanding that YouTube is causing this, because I showed where our people are being hung recent. I'm talking about like a good hand, 10 or 5 or 3 or more. I can't even keep up, have been hung on a tree recently during the 4th of July event. And y'all already know I don't celebrate these pagan holidays. I don't celebrate the Americans holidays, Snakes of America. And our people are continue to still celebrate on 4th of July. They know they ain't got no business celebrating it. You was never damn free. The Juneteenth shit, you was never free on Juneteenth either. And 4th of July, you was never free. You should not be celebrating 4th of July or Juneteenth. In the discussion with that, you should only be celebrating the laws, the holy convocations, the holy days, and the feast days of the Most High, y'all. But anyways, that's besides the point. But it does need to be out said. And it's also vital. But I'm getting real sick of YouTube. That's why I don't be going on here unless it's need to be. We all know that Nolan Wells' mother is not 100% so-called black, which we're not black people. We all, the ones that awaken, already know that. But she's not 100% of our people. That's basically what I'm getting at. She's mixed with some type of Asian or Chinese something that's already been put out there, which the people that's awakened, we call them Moabs or Ammon and Moabs, which is AKA Asian or Chinese and black. That's what she's mixed with. So that's why she has those our features or whatever. What irritated me with her, and then I'm gonna also start talking about this BS and all this noise that the content creators, oh, we got some new evidence and all this BS, when y'all we still haven't got to nowhere. But my whole thing is, it's something she said that irritated me, and also the Most High, I feel, is punishing his father as well with Nolan's death. Because first of all, from our understanding, we don't supposed to marry outside of our nations. We don't supposed to have interracial marriages. Now, other Israelites in the truth don't look at it that way, because they look at the father. The father is being if he's an Israelite, aka so-called black, because that's how y'all understand it. It's not in the truth. Then it comes from the father's seed only. But a lot of us other Israelites understand it as the father and the mother has to be 100% Israelites to make an Israelite baby. So my thing is, you dating outside of your race, as far as I'm concerned. But in society, we look at them as black or whatever. That's already a problem in itself. Then you also was on the island celebrating the 4th of July. Your whole family celebrate pagan holidays. So that's the second problem. So you celebrating 4th of July. You married to interracial marriage. You got 2 things that the Most High don't like. So I'm gonna leave it right there. Now I'm finna bring it all in, because she said something that disturbed me. She was like, yeah, and I'm not saying this verbatim. I'm paraphrasing what she said. So don't come for me. She says, is her Ben Kump, or whatever his name is, Don't come for me for that either, because y'all already know the so-called African American or so-called black guy that always represent our race or whatever in the courts was their attorney. And I think it was Don Lemon. They were on Don Lemon's show, and she made a statement saying that we didn't raise Nolan to look at race when he hang out with friends, or look at race when he's socializing with friends. He was always a peacemaker. We never anybody of any color he can be friends with. We never taught him to be that way. First of all, everybody that's looking in, that's making these statements, are not trying to be racist, as y'all always like to call us, or call us coat or whatever like that. They were basically trying to make you understand that when you around a majority of a certain race, and then you're the minority of that race, that's a problem. And that's all that they were saying. And that this is where you didn't understand, and you felt like somebody's trying to be segregation, when really that's the way it needs to be, because we don't live in a perfect world. We know that it's been racial tensions constantly. People dying constantly at a high alarming rate in our race with the same stuff. Either we being hung on trees, or either they claim we committed suicide. And then you always see these cases where it was only that one black person among a whole bunch of white people. So for you to fix your mouth as a mother and say, we didn't teach him, so we would never teach him to only hang out with a certain group of people, or hang out with a mixed group of people. He can hang out with who he wants to hang out with, no matter what color they are. Okay, we all know that we don't live in a perfect world. We all know that this goes on over and over again. So for you to fix your mouth and say that helps us to understand your understanding and your character. And now we understand why the apple don't fall too far from the tree, and why your son is now in this situation of unalived. He's no longer here, and all you can say and get smart mouth and say is that, we don't teach our son to be that way. First of all, it's not teaching your son to be that way. It's common sense that your son should not be among one race of people, and he's the only one of that color. He's the only one of his color among one race of people. So this fix your mouth and make it be like, it's not like that, and then we see another situation, and of course people gonna be respectful during the funeral, that don't do a peaceful protest, and because Nolan went like that, and we're about peace, and don't be doing nothing. My whole point is I'm gonna leave that right. I'm gonna leave that alone. Now we're gonna go on to the so-called evidence that they found. First, the so-called friends, because those are not friends. Those are not friends. You shouldn't be having them type of friends anyway, because when you're in the truth, we already know, as people being in the truth as Israelites, we don't mingle and mix with our enemy. And even of our own race, we got coons within our own race that are our enemy as well. And I'm not going to get on that. You got people of your own race that's your enemy as well. Anytime you're not doing what the Most High say, you're not understanding who you are. It's kind of like, I'm not going to get too deep into that, but I'm just going to say this: you should not be around your own enemy, because at the end of the day, they will go back to their own nature. It don't matter what kind of friend you got. If he ain't of your own race, you're gonna start seeing some things that you don't like. He gonna start seeing some things that come off racist or anything. So for her mindset to be thinking like that, and then I'm not feeling the dead, because you sit there and buried a heathen. That's all. That's how I feel, and I can lose. I can continue to keep losing subscribers. I can get hateful dislikes. I don't care. That's why our people continue to keep being in this same pattern of getting killed on trees, and it's gonna keep keep being the same way until we stop, until the Most High seal up the ones that's decided to do right, that He put in that remnant. Now, first, his enemies said that he wanted to stay behind and be with a girl. Okay, so why all his possessions with y'all? Why is his car keys? Why is his phone? And allegedly, why is all of his stuff with y'all? If he decided to stay on the mainland, if he decided to stay behind, we all know this bullshit. We all know that's bullshit. But if he allegedly said that he wanted to stay on the island, then why is his phone and his keys not on his person? Why is his stuff confiscated with y'all? Why is his belongings with you guys? Make that make sense, because it ain't making sense. Then you say, oh well, allegedly now it's swimming around in the social medias platforms or social media that he was brought back, and then he something was done to him. But then it comes out allegedly that pool party or pool little gathering was weeks or prior or a month before or sometime before, way before 4th of July had happened. So now both of those stories don't make sense. So the only story that makes sense is when they got the updates, the GPS updates, that he wasn't on the boat. Okay, so how y'all know he went on the boat? They could be lying about that. But we know that can be a fact, that he went on the boat, because they found his body dried up on the sea. So to me, at 4 something, when they claimed that the boat came back at 4 something and he wasn't on the boat at 4 something, that's when it all transpired. It's transpired some hours before 4 something, and he was already killed allegedly by all of his friends. They did something to him, and then left him dead on that island, dried up on that sea. And then when they came back at 4 something, I feel like that's all how it happened. All this damn shit going around, going in circles. Oh, we gotta do his body. We gotta look at his phone. Everybody in their right mind know that all his friends had something to do with his death, allegedly. We not finna sit here and play these games, because it's not making no sense. Now everybody want to, oh, we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. So all of y'all don't know what happened. And y'all was all with him. All of y'all don't know what happened. Like, shut the fuck up. All of y'all don't know what happened. And then, oh, he just wanted to stay behind. Okay, so if he wanted to stay behind allegedly, then why is not his car keys and his cell phone on him? Why leave him without those two things? So how is he supposed to get back without no communication with no one? And even if he did want to stay with a girl, which we all know that's a lie, because his father vouched for that and said that he didn't teach his son to be that way, which we know we can't go off of that, but we know that the parents understand who their child is. So my thing is, if he did stay behind with a woman, then that woman, he still would need his phone. He still would need his phone and his car keys, even with riding with another woman or getting her to get him back to the mainland. So you still don't make sense, because no one is going to leave their phone and their car keys behind, whether they're with someone or not. They're going to always have what they need when they're going with anyone, or they're being left behind. And especially if they're being left behind on a damn island, they're definitely not going to leave their phone behind. That's what his mother and his father were all saying in their attorney. So we already know that story don't make sense. Then now the law enforcement want to continue to say, oh, it was a suicide or a drowning. Okay, so if that was the case, So what you trying to use the excuse to say like, okay, so why was all his possessions not on him when he was left behind? And so let me get this straight. He don't have his keys or his phone with him, and now he left behind, and now he drowned or he committed suicide. Is something wrong with that story? Because you're not supposed to leave your friend without his phone and his car keys. If he want to stay behind, you gotta at least make sure that he has his phone and his car keys being left on the island. We already know it sounds stupid, but I'm just doing worst case scenarios and using examples here. So neither one of the stories are adding up. Okay, if he drowned himself or he okay, so why was not the police called right then and there if he drowned himself or committed suicide? With nobody around, with nobody looking at him when he was drowning or committing suicide? None of this making sense. And then the body was found on the island, dried up on the sea. Okay, so, and then it was found days later. So y'all gonna continue to say, oh, well, he wanted to be left behind and stay with some girl. So now y'all want to use that logic and say, but your story your story is broken up and is not gonna be facts. Because you mean to tell me that you left him behind without his phone and his keys, but his phone and his keys was with you guys? So now you looking real stupid here. So you got his cell phone and his keys, and then it's a recording out there of him saying, "Give me my freaking phone. Give me my freaking phone back." So y'all already sounding stupid. So it's evident that you're gonna be lured up. It's evident that you're gonna be lured up with your lawyers or whatever, as they all the content creators are saying. Because neither one of your stories are making logic. First, you're gonna sit up there and say he wanted to stay behind and be with some girl. Okay, so why was his phone and his keys not left with him? Why the hell are they with you guys and not on him? When he's found dead, dried up on the sea, why is all of that not on him? Why is it with you guys? Why would a person be say they want to stay behind without a phone and their damn car keys? I understand that the car can't be on the boat and the car was left where he left it at before he got on the boat with y'all. I get that, but he's not gonna sit there and just leave his keys, his car keys with y'all and his phone. And we're gonna leave the keys alone for right now. But let's talk about the phone. He's definitely not gonna leave his phone with you guys and then let y'all go on about y'all business on the boat and leave. He's gonna at least have his phone on him if he claimed he want to stay behind. That's all I'm saying. So that's where your story don't sound right there. That's where we know it's foul play being involved. We know that all of y'all killed him allegedly. Y'all did something to him. You tortured him. You did something to him and unalived him allegedly. I'm done with this story. I'm not gonna go in circles like everybody's sitting up here doing with this BS. We already know that them so-called Edomites allegedly killed that young man. End of discussion.